Right then, another episode, another how-to. This one's quite a cool one. I've not seen this before actually. All the cars I've worked on where we've had to get inside to the kind of this outer skin of the door, we've done it all from this inside edge basically. So normally you'd take the door card off, you'd have some sort of maybe an access panel or that kind of clear film plastic stuff, and then you can get to that outer skin for sound deadening or playing with the window regulator and things like that. But when we took the door cards off these, I kind of looked at it and went, oh, that's going to be fun for sound deadening later. How the hell are we going to do that? But after a little bit of research, we've worked it out. So that's what we're going to show you now. Basically, the thing that's weird is that we've got to remove this outer skin, which is, I've not seen that before. So the areas we're going to work in are behind this panel here, underneath, and then down in this hinge area down here. Basically, there's just a whole range of T30 bolts. Some of them are slightly different, but I'll show you those so you know where they go when we're refitting the door. And also, we'll obviously put them back into place so we know we're not going to get confused with that. But yeah, so it's a bit of an odd one really. So let's get in and start removing some bits. So we can get in with a trim tool and remove this panel here. He says. There we go, start to go. So this is all just clipped in, but obviously still be careful with it. It'll gradually work its way down. The plastic's given way there. Standard really with some of these older cars. The plastic gets brittle. So all that's happened there is the clip stayed in, just there, and a little bit of plastic's come off. So we can fix that. Bit of epoxy or something, hot weld it. That'll be fine. So that's come off, and as you can see now, we've got all these T30s that are all coming down here, you see. But before we undo those, we need to peel this little sticker off just here, which I think might have been off before or it's just gradually started to peel. And then in here, we'll get Sammy to get a nice clear shot of it with some light in there. There's like a silver barrel kind of bolt, if you like, that's a T20, and we're going to get in and undo that, and what that's doing is it's going to release this barrel section here. Admittedly, we've already done the passenger door side and it's just the blank that comes out, but I would have thought it's going to be the same thing, so that we can then get in, remove the barrel, and then we can start to remove the cable from the handle, so we can remove that. And then we can start attacking all the T30s and then removing the panel. So let's go from there and give that a shot. Right, so we're just going to get in here and undo that until the bolt stops. We're not looking to remove it, we just want to unwind it until it hits its stop. There we go. So that's that wiggled out. And then that gives us access to this little block just here, which is a little bit like a bike brake cable basically. So what you're able to do is get in and release that. There we go. And that's what's basically pulling the mechanism to release the latch on the door. And then what we can do is we can wiggle the handle out like this, and that's your handle assembly removed. Now we've got a T20 just here that we need to remove, which you'll be able to see, because what we'll do is once we've got this panel off in a minute, we'll put all these bolts back in place so that we don't forget where they go, obviously. So we'll take that out of there, keep that safe. And now we can start concentrating on all these T30s. Right, so T30s now. So I've got out a series of tools basically. Normal T30, because most of them are not too tight that you can get them undone by hand, but if you need be, you can obviously use your T20 to create a little kind of T-bar. That works quite nicely. But I have got a ratchet with a T30 on, because we found when we were doing the other side, which we did in true Blue Peter style. Those further ones down there can be a little tricky to get to just purely because of angles, but we'll tackle that once we've done underneath and gone round. And then, as I was saying earlier, is just to note the difference between the bolts basically, and you can tell the difference from here anyway. These ones here have all got a large kind of spacer washer on them, and you'll notice that they are quite a stubby bolt, whereas these two up here, slightly longer, much thinner little washer, and have a point on the end. I'll show you the difference to those. I'll be honest, I don't know why they're all different. It's obviously to do with depth of space and things like that inside, but it's obviously good just to remember where they go once you've taken them out. So what we'll do is we'll take them out, leave them in their own groups, so kind of this side will be in one group, the underneath will be another group, the other side will be another group, and then we can then put them either back into the door skin or back into the door, wherever works best. So let's just start winding these out. So we'll see how tight some of these are. Right, that's those out, and let's find the two different types. So here we go. We can see we've got one that's got, it's quite short with the thick washer on and just a flat topped edge there, and then the other one is longer with the thinner washer and then a point. And there's two of those, obviously, and they went up in the top. So we'll just remember that. So once we've got the skin off, we can obviously just screw them back into that. Now, a lot of you might be turning around and saying, oh, why didn't you use a little impact driver or something to wind them out? Purely because it's an older car, and you don't want to accidentally break them, knacker them in any way. And it's just sometimes nicer to use a hand tool to get stuff out, so then you're not going to break anything, strip anything. And yeah, that's it really. So let's get underneath and get those ones out. Obviously, it could be a bit tricky camera angle wise to get pictures, but it's all good. You'll be able to see me taking them out. So there we go, that's all those 6 out, and you'll notice that these are all thinner washers, longer with a point on. So now we'll just remember they all go back in the bottom, and because the door skin actually flaps round and comes in, that means these can go physically back into the door. So we won't lose them, and we won't forget whereabouts they go, because we won't be able to put the door skin back on until these are back out, and then they can go back in. So now we'll find a better angle so you can see the ones that go down the leading edge. So much the same as the other end and underneath, we've just got these T30s that run all the way down here. So we'll just work through and undo those. So it's this bottom one just here that you might find, it might have enough space, but you could find that you're getting interference from the rest of the car, just because of the angle you're working at. I know with the rear door, when we do that one in a minute, this bottom one, you definitely have to have a little side ratchet on there. But again, it needs to be a relatively meaty one, because as you can see, some of these are quite tight. So we'll just get in and crack that off like that. And then we'll probably have enough room to get in there. There we go. So we've got all our bolts just in nice little piles, 3 little piles, so that we can now swing the door around so it's almost closed, and then peel that main skin off, and then you'll be able to see everything, including all the window regulator, and it'll all make a lot more sense. Right, so we're just going to kind of push the door to so we can get nicely around the whole panel, and then get into a position where we can start to wiggle the panel off the door. There is a couple of small little, they're not retaining clips, they're just like little nubbin bits that go through and just sort of semi hold it in place, but with a little bit of wiggling it then will come off. There we go. So we're nearly there. Maybe we'll close the door. There we go. And that's it. So all that was holding it on just then was this little locator. It's very tiny, but it's just down in the bottom. This one just here. So I just had to wiggle that out. But there you go. That is the outer skin off. Now I don't know about you, I've not seen many cars that are done like this, but now actually it makes sense because you've got full access to all your regulator panels. So if you had a problem with your window going up and down, or you knew you had some sort of water ingress or anything really, you know, you can get to all of your handle mechanism. This is where we'll put the T20 back in a minute so we don't lose it. But yeah, you got full access. So really, it's quite a good idea, I imagine. But I can, you know, it's one of those things where if they've not carried it on since, maybe there was some flaws with it. I don't know. But it's going to make our job of sound deadening this incredibly easy. So we'll whip through and do the rear one as well. Might not explain it quite so in depth because it's exactly the same basically. There's just a few different screws and a couple of them are just a little harder to get to down in the corner and things, but it comes off in exactly the same way. So maybe a little less talking and we'll just kind of go through, take it all off, and then that'll be it. Doors will be ready for cleaning and then sound deadening. So let's crack on with the rear one. So there we go. That's the outer doors off the off Project Golf. So now we can get in, clean everything up, and get some sound deadening in there. And yeah, well, I think now we've got pretty much, I think everything is off the car now. Bumpers, doors, we've shown you how to do everything. And now we can start actually putting stuff into it and start building it all back up the way we want it to be. Hope this has been a useful how-to as well, showing you how to get into your doors. It's not that daunting really, it's just a whole handful of bolts really, and as I've just done, I've just kind of put them all back in where they came out, and then you've got the ones that go in under the door just here. I'll just put them back in so we don't lose them and we know where they go. Yeah, hope this has been useful, hope you found it interesting. Join us for the next episode where we will actually start sound deadening it and adding some cool stuff to this. So hope you enjoyed this episode. Check out the other ones if you haven't done yet, and keep watching. Cheers very much.